A lot of people are simply saying, look, this is all on general manager Ryan Pace. He drafted Mitch Trubisky.
Yeah.
He brought in Nick Foles. But Key has an important distinction here.
Yes,
the reason
absolutely.
they went out and they got Nick Foles is because his head coach, who was familiar with Foles, said, please go out and get it. So some of the blame here, while it's easy to put it on Foles and it's easy to put it on the GM, some of this has to go on Nagy because he asked for it, he got it, and now Foles is not coming through for him.
Look, the way it works in the NFL circles and many circles in professional sports is familiarity. Right. What's the famous word that we're using now all over everybody? Truncated season.
Truncated season. Shortened season.
We're in a shortened season. And no off season, no this, no that, no training camp, big time training camp. So you want to get some familiarity. You want to get somebody who can come in and run your system. Matt Nagy certainly went to the general manager Pace and said to him, here's a guy in Nick Foles that we both know, that we both kind of have seen in this league that understands the system. There are other quarterbacks that we can wait on, but we have to teach them and get them up to speed. So therefore, let's get a guy who we're familiar with that can teach our offense, not only to Mitch Trubisky, but also to the other players on the offensive side of the ball to help us be better. Well, guess what? It ain't working. And it didn't work. And so that falls on Matt Nagy. He vouched for a quarterback he's been around. And I'm sure he also picked up the phone and talked to some of his colleagues that have had Nick Foles and said, what do you think? And they probably said, Nick's right. I mean, you know what he is. And they said, okay, if things go wrong with Mitch Trubisky, which I would have never pulled him at 3-0, never, ever in a million years. I would have let him just continue to play into a point where we were not winning football games before I made that decision. When he made the decision to go to 3-0 and pull him, we're at 3-0 and they pull Mitch Trubisky, I scratched my head. Even though Mitch Trubisky wasn't playing great football, they were not losing. So that's always a problem when coaches do something that's kind of like out of left field. But when you go into the season already with your mind made up that you're not going to withstand your offense sputtering alone with Mitch Trubisky, your mind's made up already when you drafted, when you went out and acquired Nick Foles. You said to yourself, I'm not sitting around with Mitch Trubisky too long. Even though you were 3-0, you were not 1-2, you were 3-0. 3-0.
With a couple good rallies.
So,
Yeah, but Mitch Trubisky was playing horrible, and he caught fire in the second half. No, I get that, but
you don't disrupt something when you winning.
I don't blame Matt Nagy for going out and getting a $4 million backup insurance policy. I don't blame him for that.
But you don't need to cash in the insurance policy just quite yet.
Yeah, but even if you go back to Mitch Trubisky, he's going to remind you just how bad he is. The offense is limited. The problem is they've been acquiring bad picks. They had a questionable draft. The tight end they took from Notre Dame, we were like, what are you doing? Right? So you got to put the onus on the general manager as well. And Matt Nagy tried to go with what he knew. But, what he had to realize is that he brought in a backup quarterback that's a backup quarterback. We're talking about Nick Foles. He's the same guy that lost his job to a dude in jean shorts, which was a 6th-round draft pick. After they gave him a contract, they cut him. He lost his job to Minshew Mania in less than a year. So if you can't beat out Minshew, you shouldn't theoretically be able to beat out Mitch Trubisky.
But that's not it, though, Bart. It's not beating anybody out. When a head coach makes a decision, and we've all been there, whether it's Bill Parcells acquiring me from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because he knew exactly what he was getting.
You go back to
or whether it was Dan Henning vouching for me to go to Carolina and being part of his offense at the Carolina Panthers, or whether it was Rex giving you a bag to come to New York from Baltimore. Yeah. Because they trust you, they know you, they understand that you can run the system and you're not going to let them down. And this is what Matt Nagy, if failed experience would have happened with Rex Ryan on you, all hell breaks loose. Same with me at teams that I've gone to, all hell break loose. People would be like, well, you brought this in, this is a bum, blah, blah, blah. That's the same thing for Matt Nagy. It's the same exact thing. You decided to make a decision after they hired you to fix Mitch Trubisky as an offensive guru specialist that was going to have an offense totaling 500 yards a game and all these points and this and that. It hasn't been that way. You won 12 games in your first year. Okay, we give you that. But since then, not so good.
That's half of his win total. He's won 25 games.
That's half of the win total.
Right, in 1 year.
In 1 year. So when people start saying, well, here's 25-17, miss me with that. Stop that notion that he's 25-17. Just stop that.
But the issue is Ryan Pace, right? Because he's the one that brought Mitch Trubisky in and not go with Deshaun Watson, not go with Patrick Mahomes.
That is so true. But we also hired you to fix our damn defense, and you didn't do it.
Well, the defense.
No, I'm talking about Bart Scott. I also hired you to now, as this great defensive player, this linebacker, to run the defense.
Yeah.
We drafted somebody for you to fix, and you didn't do it. Yeah. So now you come to me and you say, hey, I like Ray Lewis. I played with Ray Lewis. I know what Ray Lewis is all about. Even though he's old and he's beat up, I want Ray Lewis. So with me as a general manager, Keyshawn, I say, okay, we're going to sign Ray Lewis. And then all of a sudden, every team in the damn country knows that Ray Lewis is on the team. Guess what they getting ready to do? They're getting ready to run right at Ray. That's not my fault. It's your fault.
I get that, but Matt Nagy got Nick Foles as a backup. A backup for $4 million. He's probably one of the best.
Didn't get him as a backup.
But I know he wanted somebody to come in and push, just like no different from them going to bring in Flacco, because Joe Douglas had familiarity with Flacco to push Sam Darnold. You wanted some type of veteran there, maybe. Yeah, but you wanted a veteran maybe that can push a young quarterback and maybe give him some knowledge and be a mentor at the same time. And you know that Nick Foles can come in. Like I said, Nick Foles is like wine, right? He's good in moderation. When you have to depend on him, he'll let you down. We know his record. He's been on 7 teams or 6 teams. We know what he is. But he brought him in to be a backup, a capable backup, and to push Trubisky. And Trubisky let him down and showed him very early in the process that he's not going to be able to. It's not another level to Mitchell Trubisky, right? He is not another level. He's going to fall. He's going to fall in the same category as Blaine Gabbert, as Blake Bortles. He's going to fall in the same category as Locker. All those guys that have potential that they reached for.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.